Okay, this is the new back. We took away the slots. The slots mean that the therapist can't cut off the back very easily if the user needs to have a shorter back. So now the back is, now you can cut off from the body. We also made this open space here so that there's not so many closed places for bugs. So this will be more cleaner for the user. The back bottom now attaches here and here with just some staples. There's a button that comes here to attach to the top when it's folded, when the back flap is down. Now all the holes here are visible, so if you put on the bracket and then you come back later and take it off and put it back on, you'll notice that it was this hole. Okay, so the big obvious change here are these two handles. So this manipulates the mechanism that's inside. It's a piece of plastic, and when you pull these handles apart, the piece will go like this to make more depth on the sacral pad. So this is set up so the therapist only has to pull down. Pulling up or pulling sideways is kind of difficult, so the therapist can use their weight to close this distance and make that pad go into a greater depth. And then you can just fix it here with Velcro. Now, you can easily put your finger in here in the window to see if the depth that you've chosen is the depth that you wanted, so you can measure and see exactly what you have. And the whole mechanism moves up and down really easily, so you can still change the vertical position by just shifting the whole thing up and down. So that's causing the curve to go up and down. So in the future, we'll put some marks on here so that the therapist will easily know, oh, if it's here, then that means it's at this position. If this bar is higher, that means that it's at this position. What else can I tell you about this? We've put some grooves in this and also made this into a slot. So now to change this, to tighten this bracket, you've got one bolt to loosen instead of two bolts to remove and put back together. So also we've put grips on this, put some cuts in this metal, so that when the metal is tight with this bolt, it's really very difficult to slide. And of course we can still use two bolts if we want to make it very secure. We can do that too. But it does function in this position also. It's still secure because of the grippiness. To do the tilting mechanism, first you loosen this hex nut. We're using hex nuts instead of carriage bolts because they're easier to find and lower cost. So this requires 2 wrenches, 1 wrench on each side. So now both of those are loosened, and Molyona will go to loosen this clamp. Now the clamp still requires 2 wrenches to loosen the bolt, and then after loosening the bolt, you push the bracket forward, lower the seat to the preferred position, push the bracket back onto the bolt, and then tighten the bolt. So the weight of the user is supported primarily by a clamping mechanism when the bolt is tightening the clamp, and also supported by the bolt itself. To change the center of gravity, you have to loosen 4 bolts, the 4 bolts that are on these sliders that Molyona is pointing to now. And you also have to loosen the bolt that tightens the tilting mechanism. After loosening these bolts, you can slide the seat forward and backwards to find the preferred position, and then tighten the bolts that make the clamps tight in the brackets. So we also plan to make a short L-shaped wrench with 10mm sockets on each end, and that'll be something that we provide to every therapist. It's very, very low cost, and it makes assembling the chair very easy. If you use that T-shaped wrench, L-shaped wrench, it will easily access all the We changed the construction of the back upholstery to make it more waterproof and to make it easier to change the sacral pad. We also removed the zipper. Now on the side there's only spandex material. The cotton material absorbs water, does not dry very fast, and doesn't offer enough stretching for the foam and sacral pad adjustments. To see these and to also demonstrate how to put on the back, I want to remove the staples. To remove the back from the chair, this back piece, this back part will fold down, and then you can pull the board out this way. And then on the inside, on the foam, we've added some nylon to make it more slippery so the sacral pad can move up and down easily. We added nylon here so the sacral pad will move easily up and down. And then you can also see the cutout that we made. We're using welded nuts here. So this is a piece of steel with nuts welded onto the other side. So the therapist can easily remove these with a wrench and then move them to a different position if they want to cut off the back. So these are easily removed and they're held in place with glue. So you can take them all out. And then if you want to cut off the back at this place and you still need some hip or lateral support, then you can put this in here and it will be available. These nuts are normal nuts that are designed for welding and they will not strip, so we prevent that problem. This construction also makes the side of the wood stronger when the hip pad is on the chair and there's force out on the hip pad or when the hip pad is pressed down. And we don't know exactly how strong yet because we're still testing, but we believe that to be the case. Let's continue to talk about the upholstery construction. We changed the upholstery construction to make it more waterproof, also by adding nylon all the way around. So the nylon is larger than the spandex. So the spandex has plenty of room to stretch and make room for the sacral pad. This is a similar construction to what's done on the comfort cushion. The top of the top flap goes all the way to the top and then folds down. And in the future we'll put a button here so that there's a button to hold the flap at this point.